Welcome to Brain. We are very excited about this Wednesday episode because we are going to deep dive into two topics: the 1X Neo world model and
Boston Dynamics and their Atlas. I think we're calling this Brain Freeze.
Brain Freeze.
Because we kind of freeze on one or two of the subjects from Monday.
We solidify our opinions on a few topics.
Yes, solidify them.
Yeah.
That's a cool term. If you missed Monday, make sure you just hit subscribe right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to regret it. And if you do, you can always unsubscribe later. Just subscribe now because you might not see us again. 95% of our viewers are not subscribed.
That's correct.
So it'd be helpful if you hit that right now. All right, I want to thank Generosity X. Generosity X partners with charities to increase their annual giving revenue through optimization and innovation and ethical use of AI. Check out generosityx.com.
Thank you, Generosity X.
Let's
dive right in. Yeah.
All right. So 16 years ago, I want to take you back in time to 2010,
which seems like just yesterday to some of us.
Yeah, that is when Boston Dynamics released their first video of the big dog on YouTube. And it was this really creepy. It had like weird patty legs and like stumpy hooves and no head.
And an umbilical cord.
Yes, it had tethers and it had a gas motor. And it was like, as it like stumbled about.
Yep.
You probably showed here.
Yep.
And this kind of set off our imaginations back then as what the future of robots would hold.
We were all going to have tethered dogs.
We were all going to have these robot dogs. Like they'd be in the army carrying packs, sneaking into battle with their gas-powered engines.
Yeah.
They would carry our backpacks to school. We could ride them. And then came out Petman. He was the first humanoid guy with the tether out of his back. He had no head.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
walking on the treadmill. He had no face, no head, just weird like
very loud.
Yeah. Years went by. We got maybe 2, 3, 4 videos a year if we were lucky of their incremental progress.
Yeah.
And this was long ago. This was before anybody was before the mainstream we're talking about AI at all, or even robots. Like we saw these things, we're like, man, what's gonna happen to Earth? Like, oh, these it's coming alive. And they became more quiet, so they replaced them with electric motors at some point, and Spot was given that mouth, that neck with the mouth.
Looks like a gooseneck.
Yeah, that goose. That Spot the goose.
Dude,
and
geese are
remember
crazy.
you seen that video where he opens the door?
Yes.
And we're like, what?
What? He
the robot dog can open the door
with his mouth.
Yeah, with his beak.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. Then in 2024, we saw the Humanoid Atlas parkouring over construction stuff and carrying that bag of tools. And they and he was like, jump in and
jumping from platform to platform.
Like, that's amazing. Like, Now, in that time, we also saw robots come out like Seikan in 2023 who understood natural language. You could speak to this robot. We never saw that with Boston Dynamics. Speak to the robot. We always saw a guy controlling it. And now you could tell a robot, go pick up this thing. It would identify it and go pick it up. Figure started to put plates into dish racks.
Yeah.
And like pick up garbage and have a conversation with a person. That was figure 1. And I remember that video just blowing. It still blows people's minds when they see that. And then you're like, actually, that's the first generation. There's 2 more. You should see what they're doing now. Figure 2 started working at BMW. The Optronic Apollo started working for Mercedes-Benz. The Optimus 2 works for Tesla. They all got jobs.
Yeah.
The
growing up so fast.
Yeah. Ubitech, the Walker S2. It started getting rolled out into factories. We did an episode on that in November or October. Hundreds getting rolled out into factories in China and now assigned to border patrols. We saw Neo launched. We saw Iron. We saw, which Iron was like the hive mind of sharing its knowledge.
Yep.
Yeah, really strong, really accurate.
The T800 by Engine AI.
Yeah, Unitree, like tons of models from Unitree. Yeah. And what did we get from Boston Dynamics in that time? Groups of robotic dogs doing dances. You know what I mean? Like we saw everybody progressing with the dream that we had. But while Boston Dynamics was like, well, we can synchronize their TikTok dances.
But Dave, like, think about it. Like that's what worked for Boston Dynamics for a decade, is releasing these viral videos. It basically that's how they built their whole business. It's like, our robots can do these things. So like, to me, their legacy is built on viral videos.
That's terrible, though. That's terrible.
I'm just saying,
because we were inspired. We were so inspired by them, and then all of a sudden, there is 20 companies that have robots
that are doing
capable already doing them, doing these things.
That's fair.
And so I felt like Boston Dynamics let me down. I almost forgot about them, to be honest.
Yeah.
With all of the robots we've talked about in the last 6 months, I almost forgot that they were
doing robots,
doing anything.
Yeah.
Because all we saw was these robots, dancing dog robots.
I do believe, though, that their demonstrations at CES, so this Consumer Electronics Show, biggest electronics thing in the world.
Yeah.
I do think they introduced something that is very completely different from anyone else.
And I disagree. So at CES, they had a model on stage that was not a functional robot. He was a static model of the new one. They had the old Atlas there, who came and like did some things.
Right.
And then they're like, and then it presented the new one, which was just a model.
Interesting.
Then they showed videos of the new one working in car factories, and it was all animated.
No way.
None of it was like real robots doing real things. It was all animated.
See, that I did not know.
And so they didn't even show off the actual robot doing the work.
Okay, then I must be thinking about Atlas 1, because the guy on the floor, they did.
He came up and he like spun his hands around.
Yeah,
that was
doing all
their
that
generation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so what are the features that they've released? 360-degree infinite joint rotation, right?
Yep.
Move around. We talked about on Monday how like the speed is better. They had one clip animation where he's standing at a parts counter and he's got to go over to a car. So he picks up the part and his arms just go zook behind him and his head turns around and he walks that way.
And moves, yeah.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of time saved in that. He didn't have to turn his torso around. Yeah. He didn't have to whatever. He just his arms just went that way. His body went that way.
Yeah.
No problem. They have a 360-degree head that rotates, but it has 360-degree vision.
Cameras, yeah.
So why do you need his head to rotate 360 degrees if he can already see
in all directions
360 degrees? It feels like maybe the neck wasn't important here.
Right.
Their hands are arguably less capable than the hands that we see on other robots.
Okay.
The 3-fingered hands. Sure, it's cool that one of them can turn into a thumb.
Yeah.
I guess that's better than just having a thumb.
Well, not just that, they're entirely counter-jointed, right? So the fingers can move in both directions and rotate fully in all directions, which is huge, right? It means like you can have something on this side and something on that side and handle both. Move from one object to the without much manipulation.
I suppose.
I mean,
I'm picturing joysticks.
Yeah, I'm thinking warehousing, right? Where you have.
Why do I want my hand to go from this to this?
Because here's a box on this side with stuff in it I want to handle, and here's a box on this side with stuff I want to handle or move around. Like the controls.
Okay.
Those tiny little controls will save seconds in a day, minutes in a week, hours in a month. Days in a year.
The arm rotation thing is going to save more time.
It's good.
Like, and not rotating the torso.
Oh yeah.
But I think going from this to this, from one box to another.
I think you'd be surprised.
All right. You think his hands might be magical?
I think everything about the fact that every joint can move in every direction is what's magical. Not just the hands. I think that applied it to every one of the joints. The head, the torso, like you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They ditched hydraulics for electric motors.
Yeah.
most of the humanoid robots are using electric motors.
Yeah.
They started off with hydraulics.
Yeah.
And move backwards. Now the iron uses hydraulics in its legs.
Right.
And it looks quite creepy.
Yeah.
But so they've changed to doing what others are doing, which is electric motors. They changed from their gas motor to electric, which nobody else was like, hey, maybe we should put an
electric battery in this
gas powered motor. Like nobody even thought they should do that.
Yeah.
Because who's going to work in a factory with like a little exhaust coming out of it?
I think you're being a little hard on them. And here's why. Because when this started, when the entire robotics industry started, there wasn't enough battery capacity and high density batteries to actually accomplish most of the energy output required for most of the robotic movement that you're talking about. So it's only in the recent 6-7 years that we have dense enough batteries to put into small areas so that there's enough power to accomplish most of the work that these motors do.
I'm not sure that's true.
I'm absolutely 100% positive.
The batteries that we had 15 years ago.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to compare it to 15 years ago. I think that they probably did 15 years ago. But in the last 5 years, we're talking about the competitors that have ran way ahead of them.
Yep.
Now you're saying that they haven't run way ahead because they can move 360 degrees.
I'm saying
now, I'm not done messing with them. So you go ahead.
I'm saying that they are a legacy robotics company that has
that doesn't help.
No, it does. And here's why.
Okay.
It's because when you're building on a legacy, you're not just you're setting a path for other people to go down, right? And you're pioneering changes, but it doesn't mean that your incumbents aren't going to make innovation. You're still inspiring change.
Okay. So far the innovation is the
fact that they made robots first.
Their rotation. Oh no. Because I'm saying that they've lost their positioning. Right? In the last 6 months, they inspired a dream and they haven't kept up with the dream in the way that other manufacturers have.
Disagree.
Their batteries, they last 4 hours, just like the Walker S2. They have vision-based navigation, so no LiDAR, just like Optimus.
Yep.
They can swap their batteries, like the Walker S2. They learn from each other, like the Iron. So almost all of the features they talk about, other robots are already doing it.
For sure.
And 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I'm saying is that this release from them is so disappointing after setting all those expectations for more than a decade that their biggest release is to start off 2026 is to say we're doing what everybody else is doing, but we can also do the thing.
I don't know.
Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think in the comments.
Engineering challenges of just doing the joints the right way. Think about there's no wires in there. That's a fully contained circuit and motor that's carrying the electricity and conducting it throughout all of every single joint, every single end point. It's to make the electronics to do it in the fashion that it doesn't have tendons. It's not human. That's the thing I think that is the most interesting thing that Boston Dynamics is introducing.
I agree.
They're going hey,
I agree that's so huge. The most interesting part.
That is so huge because think about how huge it is. It's everyone else is building like a human. The T800 by Engine AI, it moves forward, it walks forward, it walks backwards. There is a forward and backward. Every other single robot has made that a limitation. Boston Dynamics engineers are this is a robot. It doesn't have to be human. It doesn't have to do anything humans do. So let's make it do everything in all directions. I think it's actually one of the most innovative things that robotics companies have done. It's taking something that we naturally limit ourselves by doing things that look like us. And they were why does it have to look like us?
Yeah.
That's what I think is the core. And I don't think they've been working on it just for the year. I think they've been literally working on it for the last 5-6 years. But it's finally applicable now.
Yeah. And they did have demo videos of the Atlas a couple of years back.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I agree that is their one interesting innovation. Put it in the comments what you think. What you think. Do you agree with with me? Are you disappointed by the dreams that have been shattered by Atlas, or are you inspired like Joel?
I'm inspired. But I'm also inspired by what 1X is doing. You mentioned this on our last episode about how, we put our orders in for the Neo, and between the time when we did the order and when we would receive them, there's a pretty good chance that models would be introduced. I hate that this is actually documented and you said it in a podcast because it actually makes you seem smart. So funny. And what? No, but that there would be models introduced that would make it so that by the time we might get the robots, it can do things that we never imagined it could do. And that's effectively what 1X has done with their 1XWM, 1X world model. It's a translation layer from the physical world, from the video world to the physical world for the robots. And the robot maps physical space onto the video that it produces itself based on what the requests from a human are. It's really fascinating. They're effectively, though, the world model predicts future video frames of what the request might be, builds a number of different scenarios, and then as its operator, you can choose which of the, when you're training it, you can choose which of the outputted videos is closest to what you want. And when you select it, it trains it to do that thing. So an example that they showed in the video is there's an orange on a table. It has to be placed into a lunchbox. The engineer requests that you carefully place the orange from the table into the lunchbox. And Neo creates 6 different versions of videos of what that would look like based on a world model trained on real visual data from the data set. The internet data set is what they call it, like this massive data set. And then you have the opportunity to pick which video is closest to the result you're looking for.
So it produces the videos, presents them to you.
That's correct.
Then you choose.
Yeah.
Wow.
Similar to a generative model, if you've played with any of the video makers, video generation tools like VO3 or like just a bunch of the other ones, you get multitudes of the result. You get to pick which one. Like Midjourney does that as well. It kind of is like that, as it looks like an interface, and you pick which one is closest to what you want, and then it maps that to the physical world.
You have a demo video you're going to show here?
I'm going to show the demo video right here. I'm just going to freeze frame myself. It's amazing.
So I guess during the training process, you'd have to say put the orange in the box, and it just kind of stands there with its beady little eyes thinking about it, and then sends the videos to you to choose from. Like I guess in the training process, you've got to be patient.
Yeah, I think there's that, but it actually, if it operates at the speed they're showing in the video, like the request and then the video creation and then the result, that whole loop is not long. It doesn't feel long, or at least it didn't feel long in the video.
Okay.
It feels like the training will be like, hey, I want you to clean the toilet seat. These are the actions I want you to do. And
toilet seat a demo like that they show.
They actually do.
Okay, so not when you just keep coming up with.
No.
You're not just obsessed with the thought of the robot cleaning the toilet seat.
I just really need someone to clean my toilet.
Everybody, if you're out there, yeah.
So they use a toilet in the actual video to show like this. Here's the video. But what's fascinating about that is that it never saw a toilet or interacted with one before. So when the user
as would be expected.
Exactly. But what's fascinating is like there's no training data that they're building their world model on that is like, here's all the toilets in every house in the world.
Yeah.
Like that's not what they're doing.
Right.
They're basically saying, make the request with your words. The word pictures are made in video. They start with this initial frame and they build a multitude of videos, and that video model is actually training the result for the robot. And it makes it so that it's a much faster delivery of the output. It's really, really cool.
What I find remarkable is that when we get our Neos, which could be like 8 months from now.
Yeah, could be a long time.
This will be old news.
Yeah.
And that the models that they will have available at that point will be even that much more capable.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like 1X WM version 9 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty mind blowing. But here's some details about it. So the physical design of the Neo obviously matches human motion very closely. The priors learned from human video translate well into real robot behavior because every one of the videos that are generated, so that the video generation model is doing it from an egocentric perspective. So from the view of a human. So if you can imagine, it's looking at its hands doing things. It's looking at its legs doing things. Right. So it kind of maps itself into the video. It's it's super cool. The backbone uses a large generative video model, mid-trained on egocentric human video and fine-tuned on sensory motor data from the Neo itself. Right. So it's like they've done something quite unique, and they're mapping the physics of the real world on top of the video generation that they've also created. It's crazy.
That's amazing. Yeah, I really, really can't wait to get one of these guys delivered.
Finally clean toilets.
Fun fact, Joel was able to get just the sweater for his Neo delivered, and he's wearing it today.
Yeah, so it's available on our merch store. You can buy one for yourself. It's made out of this weird human-y skin.
I think that's it for Wednesday edition Brain Freeze. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. If you hit subscribe, if you don't, we might lose you forever. So hit subscribe, hit like.
If you hit that subscribe button, what shows up is a little bell icon beside it, and you'll actually get notified in your YouTube app when new videos are launched.
Oh, ding ding. Tell us in the comments what you think of the Boston Dynamics Atlas disappointment and the Neo news. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. See ya. Bye.